Give me an R. Give me a K. Give me an E. The only one I want to see, Team Duchess UNT. The only one I want to see, Team Duchess UNT.
I'm very disappointed. I'm very disappointed because I don't think the right couple went home. I feel that if you are talking of a genuine couple, people that really connected and had a romantic connection that they were nurturing and growing, then I don't feel like Clarke and Taylor should have gone home. I feel this was production engineered because they didn't want them in the finale. Because in this episode, we got to see Taylor actually give pointers to Nick of the things that Olandria appreciates in a relationship. Yet we never got to see this prior to the voting. Production only showed us this because they knew that Taylor was going home. We never got to see Taylor and Olandria heal their relationship and get to forgiveness and moving on. So I feel like production has people that they want in their finale. I think their top two couples are Olandria and Nick and Iris and Pepe. The others are up for debate. And the sad bit is with Amaya and Brian, Amaya has sort of created such a cult following that she's going to end up in the finale. So now it's only left to Huda and Chris and Ace and Chelley. And my money is they're going to put Huda and Chris. Ace and Chelley, I wouldn't be surprised if they are the next couple out. And so it's really sad that Taylor and Clarke were shortchanged, but I'm happy that they had the journey that they had, whether or not people appreciate it. And I have a feeling that after the show ends, they are going to be one of the most successful couples, or couples that are going to have a relationship that's going to last a lot longer than some of these engineered and manufactured relationships. But anyway, hey there, thanks for stopping by. It's your girl Valerie. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, please don't forget to subscribe, click the like button, turn on the notification bell for when I upload new videos, and definitely leave a comment. In this episode, I'll be reviewing Love Island USA, Season 7, Episode 32. Amaya had me nervous there. I thought she was going to be very reserved. I didn't know she was going to go all out. Anyway, Amaya and Brian entered the hideaway. And they had a makeout session. They were really busy. And this was the first time that I actually saw Brian actually appear to be in control, not as though Amaya was sort of pushing herself on him. Because I think my biggest question was always, maybe she's doing a bit too much. She might put the guy off. She needs to calm down a bit. So it was nice to see him reciprocate whatever she was giving and actually go the step further. So I love that for her. Taylor and Clarke. Taylor and Clarke went to Speakeasy. I really love Taylor and Clarke as a couple. I think they have this undeniable connection that you can't sort of fake it. And so I love that they found their person. They really seem very peaceful. They spoke about their ideas of what they want to happen on their wedding, any favors, any party favors for their guests, the fact that Taylor wanted cowboy hats for every single person. And we all know Clarke is a girly girl, so she has ideas as well. So it was nice to hear them sort of ask, what do you want? What do I want? And so I can see them working outside of the experiment. This is a couple that I can actually believe in, that, oh yes, these two people have a genuine connection. Otherwise, most of them I just side eye and I just think this is fake. So to have a genuine connection and have a couple actually grow and prosper is something that I didn't expect. Chris and Huda, something is not right. Something is off because Chris didn't look happy. He's very upset and he wouldn't say why he was upset. I think he was trying to regulate himself until he got into a space whereby he could have a decent conversation with her. Amaya and Brian went to the jacuzzi. They were enjoying themselves because Love Island on the American version, their hideaway is way bigger than the UK. It makes the UK one look like a corner shop. So, hey, it is what it is. And then finally it came out. The truth came out. You had Chris tell the guys that with Huda, the thing is, she wants to sort of be physically intimate in private, but she doesn't want to do it with everybody else. He asked her for a kiss, and then she looked around to make sure nobody else was looking, and then she went in for the kiss. He was then asked, but you kissed in Speakeasy? And he said, yeah, because there was no one else there. That's why she agreed to kiss in Speakeasy. And it's like, Huda needs to make a decision of whether she really wants this relationship to prosper with this guy or whether she wants to keep it stepping. I don't know whether she's being reserved because she doesn't want to appear to be love-bombed or to be love-bombing someone, or whether she's reserving it because she really doesn't feel him romantically. That's where I'm sort of stuck in the sense that is she holding back because she doesn't like him, or is she holding back because she doesn't want to be criticized by the guys as being said she's love-bombing him? So in the morning, the islanders wake up. The boys go to make breakfast. The girls are doing their makeup, and Iris keeps looking out the window, and it's like, what happened? The boys were teasing Pepe that you and Iris were busy last night. Well, they were busy. We did see the duvets moving, so I loved that for them. I didn't realize that they were actually serious. I thought they were play acting, so the idea that they've become physically intimate, hopefully they are being true and honest. You have Brian and Amaya in the hideaway. They're talking about their night, the fact that they had an amazing time. They can't wait to continue with this journey, and I love it for them if it's genuine. Everyone else was just hanging around waiting for Amaya and Brian to come out of the hideaway. When they came out, you had the boys go to the fire pit, and the girls went and sat down on their own, and they were having conversations about what happened. And Brian, I thought he was going to be a bit more, he didn't come out and say every single thing that happened, but the fact that the way he described it, hopefully that's what he agreed with Amaya. Yes, Amaya was more forthcoming with the information. So as long as the two of them are comfortable with letting the group know and letting everybody that's watched the show know that this is what they did, the girls were excited for Amaya, the boys were excited for Brian. So hey, it is what it is. You then had everyone just hanging around the villa, just relaxing and sort of chatting, and they're talking about the challenge of the babies. And Chelley saying she's now open to the idea of having babies, she's open to the idea of having twins. And everyone was teasing them about how they really struggled. What I found interesting was Chelley said, I want to have children, it's just the partner. And it's like, so she knows that this thing with Ace is not going anywhere. She knows for a fact that this is just a temporary thing until the show ends, and maybe a year or two, and then she moves on to the person for her. I don't think Ace is ready to have children with anyone. He already told us that he makes a great dad, Chelley makes a great mom, but as a team, they don't make a good set of parents together. So hey, it is what it is. The boys then receive a text message: boys, get ready to bounce. It's time for a game of 3-on-3. No girls allowed. The boys were excited. It seems like they're going to be playing basketball. And poor Taylor, he tried to sort of do a chest bump with Chris, and I think Chris was too strong for him, because you saw him sort of bounce and go straight to the floor. It was the most hilarious thing. I found it hilarious anyway. And then the boys changed and off they went to play basketball. I really loved seeing the boys in their element. The fact that with Nick, he was very smart, because he picked Chris and then he picked Taylor immediately, and he got himself in a good place, which left that Ace and Brian with Pepe were in a different group. I didn't realize that Pepe apparently played professional basketball. So they were obviously the team captains, in my opinion. I didn't hear them give each other titles, but it was nice to see the boys just relax. I don't know why production felt the need to do this. I don't know whether it's because they could tell that Chris was very upset, or whether they were trying to avoid Chris having this conversation with Huda. But it was nice for the guys just to go out on their own and just have their own alone time, guy time, and sort of bond and sort of create memories and friendship, which was really good. Am I surprised that Chris's team won? No, I don't think so. I think the problem with Ace and Brian, I don't know whether they've played basketball before. Ace, even when they lifted him up, he still couldn't make the basket. So although Chelley back at the villa was busy saying that, I have a feeling that Ace, his team is going to win, his team better win, and it's like, you can will something, but that doesn't mean it's going to happen. I love that the girls at the villa just stayed behind and were just talking about their couples. They didn't, or would you rather? It was nice to see them all relax without any tension. For Huda to say, she had a moment in Soul Ties with Chelley and Olandria, and she was telling them that Chris is very good for her. He's very laid back. He allows her to relax, and she keeps telling herself, Huda, behave yourself, behave yourself. And it's the way the girl sort of looked, the way Olandria looked makes me suspect that when Huda freaked out or whatever, crashed out, it must have been very terrible. And this is why everyone around her always walks on eggshells, because they don't want to be in her line of fire should things go left. The girls then sat in a group. They did the would you rather sort of game, and then eventually I think they were just bored. They were trying to wind up time, and it's nice that they can all sit in one place without sort of isolating one another. It's nice to see that they're all gelling very well as compared to Love Island UK, where you can actually see the divisions in the group. Once the boys finished their game, they then started talking about their connections. Pepe was surprised that he and Iris were doing very well because they started off as friends, and is happy that they're in this space where they can actually explore a romantic connection and not worry about anything else. I said it before, I'll say it again. They are most likely going to be one of the most successful couples. The thing with them is they're both very calm people. The problem with Chris in his couple is he is meeting Huda's best representative at the moment. He hasn't met, Hurricane Huda. And so when he meets Hurricane Huda, I don't know whether that relationship will last after that or whether he'll be willing to hang around after that. He might just think this is a bit too much for me and pack his bags and go. Nick spoke about his connection with Olandria and said, he's in the same place as Pepe and Iris, in the sense that he was very good friends with Olandria. The romantic attraction is growing. They are bonding and he thinks they're doing very well. I think they're doing very well as well. So I'm not surprised that they're working. And then Taylor had a conversation with the guys and said he wanted to close it off. No one is surprised. Taylor is a different man with Clarke than he was with Olandria. The fact that he actually told Nick that, for Olandria, the things she appreciates is you need to make pancakes with crispy edges, you need to do this, that, and the other. That tells you that he doesn't see himself going back. As far as this concerned, Taylor's it. He actually spoke about the fact, something that I've highlighted before, that he's more sort of physical touch with Taylor than I ever saw him with Olandria. And he, I don't think, expected to meet someone like Taylor. So the idea that he met someone like Taylor and she's giving him everything that is wanted and is bringing out qualities in him that he didn't expect is something that's amazing for him. Because on day one, he didn't want Clarke. Now he's realizing that at times it's worth sort of giving things a second chance. I don't think if he had given Olandria a second chance, it would have worked. But definitely with Clarke, it makes sense that they give it a second go round and it actually works. So you have the girls busy playing table tennis, and while they're doing that, the boys arrive back and the girls are excited to see the boys. The fact that the boys were pretending like they were injured because they really worked very hard and they were playing a hard game, well, it was cute to see all their girls sort of try and nurture them and sort of try and make them feel comfortable. They had a debrief, obviously, of the game, which they're going to do. And then afterwards, you had the Islanders. Well, you had the Islanders go and get ready for the night. And so while they were getting ready for the night, the girls were busy chatting about their connections. The boys were doing the same. Taylor had asked the guys to help him sort of choreograph something to sort of ask Clarke to be exclusive, and they practiced it in the garden, which was really cute. And then when the girls came out, you had Taylor decided to do the toast. He did the toast. It was nice that he went on a high. So he did the toast, and then in the middle of the toast, they just started this little cheer. I thought it was the cutest thing ever. They had already practiced their words, and so it was nice to see the fact that Olandria had to sit through this. I know she's moving on with Nick, but it would be painful, because then you ask yourself, why wasn't I good enough? But you can't question yourself, because your person will find you and you will be enough. So Taylor asked Clarke to be exclusive. Is anyone surprised? No. I think it was the sweetest thing ever. It wasn't extravagant. Like they put flowers, they have chocolates and blah, blah, blah. No, it was just a couple of guys doing a choreo, and then that's it. And that was the end of it. And Clarke really appreciated it, because it was something that comes along with being Clarke. She's a very girly. And so when she said yes, the fact that, Taylor celebrated with her, and then the guys were sort of carrying him around the field and stuff, that was the cutest thing ever. I really loved it. And so it was nice to see everybody just be happy for them and celebrate them and know that this is something that these people have discussed, because they've even discussed up until marriage, that what do you want in a relationship? They've discussed what sort of family do you want? Where would you want to live? Do you see yourself living here? Apparently they are long distance at the moment. So it was the cutest thing ever. And for Clarke to just be there, just be all princessy, and have Taylor just, be all over her, that was the cutest thing ever. I really love them as a couple. I think she brings out a side of him that, irregardless of romantic spark or whatever, nobody else, I think, in the villa would have been able to bring that out. You then have Huda and Chris sit down for a conversation. So when they sat down for a conversation, the guy said, they do need to chat. And that's because the guys knew what the problem was. The girls didn't know. And when the girls tried to ask, the boys pretended to be dumb. So Chris sat down with Huda and tried to explain to her that I feel some type of way. I feel like you're embarrassed of me. You don't want to show me off in public. You only want to sort of knock boots with me when the lights are out, but you don't want to do anything with me in public. Huda's excuse doesn't make sense. For her to say that, I feel like that's something that's private, we need to do it in private. And it's like, well, how are we in private if we're having sex in a room with about 12 other people? make it make sense. It's not making sense. And so I didn't quite understand her. Because if you're going to say you don't want PDA, then don't even have SEX in a room with other people. Why not wait and go to the hideaway? Why didn't she campaign to go to the hideaway? She didn't want to go to the hideaway because she didn't want anyone to know what she was doing, but she's happy to do stuff with him in private when the lights are out. I didn't like that, and I'm totally Team Chris in this situation. And the fact that she wouldn't allow him to speak, I didn't like that. The problem with Huda is she always wants to control the narrative of any situation. She always wants to be the voice that's heard. She doesn't take time to sort of listen to the other person. I've said this before, that she has a personality of saying me, 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 me. So in the end, she walked off. Chris went, he spoke to Brian, and I think Brian sort of said to him, try and speak to Amaya and get a woman's point of view. When he explained himself to Amaya, Amaya was able to relate and to understand, because it's a simple fact that he is saying, if we're not going to kiss in public, then we shouldn't be having sex in a room full of people. What exactly is it that is stopping you from wanting to kiss me? Is it because you're embarrassed you don't want to be kissing someone like me? Chris is amazing. He's very good looking. I don't even know why she's doing that. I think she's doing it more because of the perception that she doesn't want others to realize what she's doing and then say she's love bombing him just because of that fact. Or maybe she's embarrassed of him. It could be as well that she's embarrassed and she just doesn't want to do PDA with him. Anyway, you had Nick have a conversation with Olandria, and he sort of asked her, how do you feel about Taylor asking Clarke to be exclusive? And she said, it makes sense. It makes sense because she brings out qualities in him that I couldn't bring out. And besides, he's in vet school. I didn't know he was training to be a vet. Oh yeah, he did say at the start. So he's training to be a vet. It would have been long distance. And on Saturdays and Sundays, he does his rodeo stuff. So he would have struggled to sort of make time for her. So she gets why it would make more sense. Although I think with Clarke still, it would be long distance, but maybe she might be able sort of to adapt herself or to adjust herself in order to fit in with his plans. So hopefully they work out. I really love them as a couple. Amaya then went and had a conversation with Huda, and she sort of asked Huda that what is going on, because he feels like you're ashamed of him. For Huda to say that, oh, I did PDA with Jeremiah and everybody called me out, and so now I want to... No, she should have then not had sex with this man. Her excuse doesn't make sense. If you're trying not to do certain things because you don't want everybody else to see you and have comments and make sort of suggestions or have ideas of whatever perception they have of your relationship, then don't be intimate at all. Don't be physically intimate in bed and then say nothing when it comes to be physically intimate in public. That's it. Pepper then received a message that says, could all islanders gather around the fire pit? The islanders went to the fire pit. A message was then revealed that, the public have been voting for their favorite couple, and so they're going to be announced, and the couple with the least votes will go home. I don't even know why we needed to go through the motions, because at the end of the day, we all know that irregardless of what they did, Clarke and Taylor were still going to pay with the public because of the fact that Taylor chose to go with Clarke. My issue with Taylor wasn't that he went with Clarke. My issue with Taylor was that he didn't tell Olandria in time that he wasn't feeling anything. Had he told her in time and had she agreed to continue in a friendship couple, I think a lot of people would have forgiven him. But the fact that he didn't, he continued as though he liked her. But it's not his fault really, because Ace is the one who was pushing him, do this, do that, do this. So at the end of the day, I get where the viewers are coming from, but I also get where Ace was coming from. Anyway, so everybody stands up, and then the couples with the most votes are revealed in no particular order. Ace and Chelley were called out first, and Ace was excited. I don't know whether he thinks by being called out first that means that he is already safe and he is the most popular. I don't think he's the most popular. Yes, he's got a fan base that he came in with, but I don't think that makes him the most popular. So the idea that he was very happy and he was telling Chelley, oh, we did very good. I think they think all their little gestures, the little dates and stuff have managed to sway the viewers. No, the viewers were more upset at Taylor than they were upset at you. That's why. Next saved couple was Iris and Pepe. Anyone surprised? No, because viewers are bound to fall in love with him given the fact that they've been on this tumultuous journey. So it makes sense. The next message was for Huda and Chris. They were safe. For Huda to try and hold Chris's hand and stuff, Chris wasn't having it. He was very upset, so he wasn't really having it. Anyway, that left two couples vulnerable. So I think this was just so the production could sort of try and continue this narrative that it's either your Team Taylor or your Team Olandria. So they had Olandria and Nick and Taylor and Clarke stand up at the front, and then it was revealed that Taylor and Clarke were the couple with the least votes. Are we surprised? No. Given the fact that they were all coming out last in the last sort of viewer votes that we had, no one is surprised. It was really sad to see them sit down. The villa went into a sense of calm when Taylor left. There was this sense of calm and peace because Taylor was very close to Nick and Taylor was very close to Ace. I think he walked in with Nick, if I'm not mistaken. So the calmness in which they sort of displayed and there was no tears, I think it's because they're coming to the end. Next week the show ends, so it makes sense that one couple would go home. Everyone, I think, is pleasantly surprised that Nick and Olandria are still there, but nobody said anything about it. The guys agreed that they were now brothers. Yeah, it makes sense. They've spent, 5-6 weeks together. So it makes sense that they would see themselves as brothers. They did do the photo booth thingy where they took pictures. The girls took pictures. And then I like that the remaining OG3 guys took pictures on their own first before they took pictures with the whole group. And I really want the best for Taylor and Clarke. I think they were the most genuine couple left in the villa. And sadly, viewers could never forgive Taylor for choosing Clarke. But it is what it is. I can't wait to see what they do next. Thanks guys for watching. Please don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe. And click the link in my video to watch my review from episode 31. Bye guys.